What's up? What up? What up? Let's throw up the screen. I think I'm live on YouTube. We're solid. Throw up the video. We're good. Guys, we're going to go over yesterday. Did end up taking a loss. My first loss on DAX in honestly a while. I think it's like my second loss this month, maybe third. On DAX, I think it's like my first or second. But we're going to go over yesterday's trade. We're going to talk about what happened, why I think we got fucked over. That's right, Nick. What's up, Ryan? What's up? What's up? So we're going to go over a little bit. We're also going to go over a trade that I actually did call in my Discord. I told you guys I did not take it, but this is actually a beautiful trade that also played out using the same exact model that I use. It sucks sometimes, you know, you do take those trades where trade you do take, it loses, the trade you don't take wins. So that's a crazy profile pic I see in there. I see a profile pic in my name. That's crazy. Or of me. Wow. What it do, Dylan? What's up, crew? What's up, Luxie? What's up? What's up? So we're going to go over yesterday a little bit. So you guys know we were in buys for a little bit, and we did go. I'm just going to replay over here. Or actually, let me delete all this. Fuck replay. We don't need to go on replay. So let's delete this. This is my buys for today. So yesterday we did end up getting into some of these buys here. And we know going back to the lower time frames, we could have gotten earlier and we actually would have hit our full TP. But Nick's mom is crazy. Crazy. What's up? What's up? I haven't seen you in a while. But again, we could have entered down here at the equilibrium and actually got that 1 to 2 that we typically go for super fast. But ultimately, that's not the way I trade. I mean, yes, sometimes I do. And let me go over it. So the reason I did not enter at this equilibrium here was because this expansion leg happened before London Open. If it happened after London Open, I would have been more comfortable taking it at the equilibrium. Because again, we can go over to UK 100 for example. On this first initial leg here, if we would have taken at this break here, if we would have taken the equilibrium trade, where was it? It was here. It was from this high to this high. If we would have taken this, we would have lost. And that's solely because this expansion leg happened before London Open. But then what happened after? The expansion leg came right back up and made a new high after London Open. And then that's when we saw price play out in that direction that it then gave us. So obviously we could have entered earlier, but I had to wait for the extra confirmation, which was a break these highs. And that ultimately fucked us over. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that I think, truly, based off the information that I got, was we kind of filled this fair value gap on the 4 hour and then went lower. Again, our objective was to see that daily candle make a top wick, and we didn't. Okay, we didn't. But ultimately, what did we do on UK 100? If you guys remember yesterday on UK 100, we had the same situation where the daily did not have a top wick, and we actually did end up coming up and making a top wick. So I did get some really good data. Again, I should have entered these buys here where we did see this break, did see this pull back into equilibrium. I could have entered at equilibrium, and we did see price run into that daily high. It's fine, okay? But ultimately, let's go over today. So today, UK 100 looks shit, straight up. I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. It looks shit. We try to come higher. We had another top wick. It just doesn't look good. We're starting to kind of range within here. What's up, Tay? Haven't seen you in here in a while. Breach 2 accounts in 20 minutes. Man. If you want a new account, you can use code Nick. Thoughts on A-lifts and gas scandal? I think it's bullshit, Alani. If you're talking about the person I think you're talking about, it's bullshit. I use Gates. I've never had a problem. I've withdrawn thousands. I know people who've withdrawn thousands. But again, we also got a deal right now, guys. If you guys go and buy an account right now, we have a buy one, get one 30% off. So if you go buy an account right now, you can DM me that you use my code, or you can go and here, put it up for you guys. If you go and buy an account right now, your second account's 30% off. So if you guys want to go get 2 accounts, whoever said he just blew his 2 accounts, you can go and buy one, and then your next one's 30% off. But you have to DM me after you buy it. Just send me a screenshot that you bought it, and I'll send you the discount code. So let's go back into today's bias. We're kind of just ranging on UK 100. I don't like it. I think I'm going to stay away from UK 100. Is Lucas still my bunk buddy? Of course. He's still bottom bunk. He's still bottom bunk. But DAX, on the other hand, I like DAX buys. But again, same situation as yesterday where one, we did end up coming lower. We did end up breaking this low. So what am I looking for? One, we could be playing that pullback of this new bearish leg. But ultimately, we're still within this bullish swing structure here, where we did break these highs, we came lower, we attempted to break higher, and we're seemingly having a deeper pullback. And I'm still going to be bullish, at least from a swing standpoint, until we break these lows down here. But that hasn't happened. So I'm still going to anticipate buys. Obviously, price could sell off. That's why I said I need to wait for some confirmation. But we've already had that in the sense of we're seeing price make these new highs. Okay. We did end up facilitating a pullback from this low to this high. We came deep. We're actually reacting off of order block right now too, which I like. If we were to come and break these highs, I would enter. And the reason I want to wait for the break of these highs is because, again, this expansion leg happened before London Open, meaning during London Open, price could ultimately just continue to sell off. And that's why I want to wait for that confirmation that we're re-breaking those highs and continuing within that bullish structure. So if we get that, I will shoot here. First target is obviously 101. And second target, 1 to 2. Gold bias, I'll go over it right now. What's up, bro? Just bought a new account. Does code Mamba count? No, it doesn't. So you have to use either code Nick or you have the link that I sent. Yeah. What if I disconnects internet? I can't trade London. That sucks. That sucks. I haven't seen you in London in a while. London's been killing it. We've been doing good this month. Would gold for our IFG from Mark Stream earlier to be valid? Let's go for gold. Let me go over NQ first. So with NQ, I actually like NQ for sells, okay? The reason I like NQ for sells is because we initially saw this nice little sell off here. We had some nice little bullish structure, which I think was just most likely a pullback. And now we're seeing some very nice bearish candles. And also with this hourly candle here, what do we see happen? If we look a little bit deeper in, we saw price kind of create this fair value gap or this imbalance. Price came up, filled it, and is now reacting lower. So we can go down to lower time frames and we can already see some type of bearish internal structure where we took some liquidity here, broke these lows. We could even say these lows here, I'd say. Had a pullback, and we're now reacting lower. So now if we're playing the 1 minute, which I usually do enter in off of, we could play this leg, but I think this is going to happen before London opens, where we'll see a pullback. If we see continuation, we'll just play the continuation down, down, down. So I think we'll see some sells here today. We'll see though. Let me go over gold for you guys. Gold, gold, gold. All right, gold. For our IFG, what IFG was he looking at? This one? I assume. I think we could definitely... Was he looking for sells or buys? I don't know. We're reacting very strong for buys, I think. But ultimately, I do think we could see... We're within the middle of Tokyo range right here, and we're going to take some type of liquidity. We're either going to come down first, take lows, and maybe push the highs, or we're going to go up into highs and then either continue higher or come back down into lows to take that other Tokyo lows. Coach, what is JR40 on Legacy? Sadly, JR40 is not on Legacy. Showered before I came here. Orangutan. Let me look at your screen. That's the 4 hour? Why does it look different? I think we, again, like we do have room to sell off, like I said, being that we are very much overextended within this hourly leg. But gold's a little bit of a different mover. I don't really like gold. I think I trade gold a little bit differently. But again, like we're still kind of consolidating within here. If we get breaks higher, we can definitely assume that price will go higher into these highs up here. But if we do see a break lower, we could assume price is going to come to this liquidity. Damn, Dave. On one. It's 9 a.m. for you? Lucky. Lucky. Please, sir, how can I trade gold on legacy funding? So gold on legacy funding is just called GC. GC. Or MGC. But I trade MNQ. But let's see what happens. Again, we could be looking for a quick entry. Like if price does not facilitate the pullback within this 1 minute candle, I could see myself taking, depending on how we react at either equilibrium or 71%, which ultimately just based off how price looks, I'd honestly prefer a reaction at 71%. If we see a nice reaction candle, I will take sales here. 1:53 a.m. I know it's late. I'm not real Nolani. I had a feeling. Who are you then? Nick Henry fucked us yesterday. Why didn't you give him your digits? I know, Z. I should have. Nah, but again, like I'm fine with that loss. Again, we've been doing so good this month that I'm fine. But again, as far as today, we really need to see that confirmation. And what we could see is we could see price come down, take Tokyo lows first, and then we could see price come higher, which honestly I'd like to see. But ultimately, we may not end up seeing that. We could just see price continue lower, and that's why I wait for that confirmation. Because if I were to just enter right now, price could just end up dipping. And that's a big thing, and that's a big reason why yesterday I waited for that break of those highs, because sometimes I do enter at equilibrium. But in this case, we've already hit equilibrium. We already had that expansion leg before London. I'd rather wait for that confirmation of the break of this high before we do end up entering. 3 a.m. Yeah, East Coasters are crazy. Casper, you're crazy. But we got 5 minutes to open. Mainly going to be looking at DAX. Again, UK 100's out of the picture as of right now. Just not looking too good as far as lower time frames, higher time frames. Obviously, we're going to see a move in one direction, and that's ultimately going to set us up for tomorrow. I have a feeling we are going to sell off, though. I really do. I have a feeling we're going to sell off because, again, if we look at the higher time frames, we have been bullish, pretty bullish, and I do think we will see a pullback within this 4 hour, but we'll see. Quote about a fly. But again, YouTube chat, if you guys want to go take advantage of the deal right now, that's the link. You can go buy an account. Once you get an account, you can DM me. What beer is that one, bro? It's water. No beer. When's the new YouTube video coming out? Soon. Should be soon. We had a couple nice trades that I could definitely break down on the next YouTube video. Sometimes. More just one time. What high and low do I use to mark my equilibrium? It's just based off the last 4 hour structure. So like just based off how price looks, we see the 4 hour trending here. Where we had a break, I believe it was here. Had a pullback, had a break, had a pullback, and had another break. So within this 4 hour leg, this is my last low that led to that break of structure. This is my last high, so I'd mark it from the ultimate low to the high. But if we go to the daily, we can also see that price has been very bullish within the daily. So if we mark it up from the daily, it would be from this low to this high. Because of the fact that this is our daily leg, we could see that overextended. We could see a fat sell. But again, like this is where multi-time frame analysis is super important because yes, the daily is very overextended. We could see some sells. We also have to pay attention to the 4 hour because the 4 hour could just sell off, facilitate a pullback, and continue within that bullish structure. So that's where I'm very, very careful with what I'm looking at. Thoughts on Niicksfx actually Super Bowl streak? It was amazing. Bro's very smart when it comes to marketing. What's up, Jamal or Mally? Thought. She was trying to rig the system. All right, guys. I'm going to be ready for a potential sell entry on NASDAQ. We haven't taken a NASDAQ trade this week. Again, yesterday we did have an opportunity, but price did not give us the reaction we wanted, and I just stayed away. We did end up selling off. I wasn't initially anticipating sells, We did end up having that bullish push, did see some sells, but now we're going to look for a continuation of sells. The hourly just looks really good. Very nice top wick. I do think we will see some very nice sells. As far as DAX, again, I really do need to see price react back higher. Not going to enter until we see a break of those highs, because ultimately we could just see price sell off. And if we do start breaking these lows down here, that was a horrible line. If we do start seeing a break of these lows down here, I'm just going to remove my entry. I won't be entering, and I'm just going to let price do its thing. Yes, again, like I could flip my bias and instantly go back for sells. But again, there's a reason I don't want to go for sells, is because ultimately we're still bullish within this leg. And being that we just made this new internal leg, okay, I do want to see that pullback happen before I even anticipate sells back down. But even then, like I still would not anticipate sells until price breaks this low down here, just to confirm that we are now bearish within that swing leg. But again, like let's look at the daily again. Let's look at the daily real quick before market opens. Looking at the daily again, we are very bullish on DAX. We had that bullish leg, we had a pullback, and we saw price internally start shifting bullish as well. So we can ultimately assume that price's next target will be these highs. Again, I did drop my weekly outlook in my Telegram, guys. So if you guys are in there, you guys have an idea of what I'm looking at from a weekly standpoint. It's basically everything I just went over today. We're seeing lower prices. I should get everything ready here. See what's happening here. Again, my stop is getting dragged out. It's a big stop, you know. Are you on sells on NAS? I'm not in sells yet, no, but I'm anticipating sells. But again, price could just continue pushing down, but that ultimately is just going to expand our leg lower and lower and lower. We'll see what happens. We are just getting lower prices. Same thing here. I'm not in any trades, guys, because again, I need some final confirmation before I enter. We did end up coming down beneath these lows, guys. Unless we have a nasty wick, I'm probably going to just not enter sells here or buys and solely just focus on NAS to see if we get a setup here. But again, if we see a nasty wick where we just come down, take these lows and come right back up, I would want to enter, but ultimately, like, it would just be a ridiculously big stop loss, like to the point where it's almost not worth it. Because again, like going back to the higher time frames, if this is our fib from this high to this low, this is our equilibrium. At this equilibrium, we could just react back lower. And again, our first target is 101, and we wouldn't even hit 101 until we're deep within that pullback. And ultimately, it's not promised that price is going to come that deep within that pullback. Yes, it can. But the reason it was so much better looking before we had London open was just due to the fact that price is 101, or our 101 based off my TP and stop loss was like right at this equilibrium. But now it's not. So I do think we are going to see lower prices. I'm not going to just go and start selling now. Buys look good. Didn't get confirmation. It is what it is. Again, I'd rather let price do its thing, run out, show us what it's going to do for today, and then ultimately we can play out that going into tomorrow. Same thing with UK 100. I told you guys I was anticipating sells. We are selling off. I just didn't have entry. Nothing to really like push me over the edge. Thank you, Dave. Fire, Mally. Mally's posting them videos. Again, guys, if you guys also took UK 100 sells, fire. Love that. If you guys did not know, again, like every video I post for the new people in here, that I do a giveaway. All you have to do is just comment on the video.
And the goal here is
like, subscribe. Oh shit.
to prove something important. This isn't a system that just
comment, like, subscribe. And I pick one of the comments. Is trading memorizing charts and graphs and trying to predict what's going to happen to the market if I sell? Is trade memorizing basically modern? Yeah, I'd say so. It's having a system based off like data, I guess you could say, that ultimately like your system is your edge. But yeah, in a nutshell, that's what it is, modern. On YouTube. Sorry, Black Doer. I also have YouTube open, guys, and we're live on YouTube as well, so sometimes I'm reading chat there. I think Nas had a sweep. Yeah, we could have come down, could have maybe just swept these lows, but ultimately, like, my bias is for sells just based off how the hourly's been looking, where we did end up seeing price come up, react off this fair value gap, fill the imbalance, whatever you want to call it. We are seeing lower prices, and again, we could just end up selling, and again, like, ultimately, again, the bias was sell, so I can't be mad if my bias plays out, but there was just no entry for me. There wasn't. I still need to see price have some type of pullback into a premium price, and then we look for that continuation back lower. Could you give a bias for YM? Yeah. YM. Same thing, looking very bearish. We had a nice little sweep of these highs prior to market open, and we opened very bearish. So I do think we will see some sells here as well. Again, if I was trading YM, I'd wait for the same thing. I'd wait for a break of this low, and then I'd wait for a pullback, and then just look for that pullback and then continuation of that bearish leg. At break even, WJ fire. Again, guys, UK 100 did end up selling off. I wish I could have taken sells, guys, but again, there was nothing pushing me over the edge for sells. I mean, granted, we are still within this bullish 1 hour leg, so we could just be facilitating a deeper pullback to then go higher. But ultimately, I'd rather wait for price to either confirm that we are going to go lower with the break of these lows, or confirm that we are going to go higher with the break of these highs. But the reason I could have anticipated sells, just because of how we've been reacting here, these nasty big top wicks, just giving me the idea that price is no longer looking to go higher. We could see some sells, but again, everything has to align for me, not necessarily perfectly, but align to the point where, like, I'm very pushed over the edge as far as like what to expect. DAX went lower. Not looking at DAX anymore, guys. UK 100 did end up breaking this low here, so like this could just be a pullback to lead price lower. But ultimately, I'm just not going to play it just because it still doesn't look that good. I would have honestly preferred a break of this slow down here, but we just kind of wicked it, and that could have just been a nasty liquidity sweep of Tokyo lows to take price higher. And that's why I'm just kind of staying away. But we still have NASDAQ, so we're going to see what happens over here. One day we'll be trading rice futures on a rice farm. Cartoony, no fucking way. Is that you? And that was Cartoony. You're Black Doer, huh? Cartoony is back. Oh my gosh. No fucking way. On YouTube? Yeah. I think he was in Discord too, but he's on YouTube too. Wow. We haven't seen you in a while, Cartoony. We got scared. We didn't know what happened to you. Wow. I don't know if a lot of you guys, a lot of the OGs do remember Cartoony. Biggest troll ever. Oh my gosh, Cartoony, no. No. You're tripping. Cartoony, everyone's telling you to go to Discord. I think Cartoony is Black Doer in Discord. YouTube chat with Cartoony was mad sus. Oh my gosh. Top Dongs. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about Top Dongs. Casper, I can't believe you remember him. Guys, we had some OGs. Oh my gosh. What is today? I did not expect that. Those were the two sussest motherfuckers. There he is. There's Cartoony. Bottom bunker. A bit of memory lane. I know. Oh my gosh. We were talking about you a lot, Cartoony. Like, we thought we lost you. I'm like glad Cartoonie's back, but at the same time, like, Bro would make me lose viewers on YouTube back in the day. He would get in the craziest arguments with people. He was a rage baiter before rage baiting was a thing. Like it was amazing. But again, guys, DAX is going lower. That's fine. Again, not every day is going to be a trading day. Again, I trade quality over quantity. And I know yesterday was a losing day, but yesterday was still a quality day for me, right? Everything that I observed, everything I went over, it was still quality. There was nothing wrong in the setup other than the fact that we did end up losing. But again, it happens, right? We hadn't lost in a while on DAX. And again, I'm still up very good for the month. This has been a very good year for me so far. It really has been. Again, we killed it last year too, but this year is ultimately looking great too. It looks like UK 100 could have just been facilitating that pullback, guys, to go lower. Again, I could take sells, but ultimately, I just don't like the higher time frames. I really don't. Like, yes, I'm anticipating sells to go long term just based off how we reacted here. But the reason I kind of want to stay away from sells is because, again, like we don't have confirmation yet. Like we could just come a little bit lower and then just end up ripping back up higher because we're still within this bullish leg. Granted, I do think price at some point, if today, tomorrow, end of the week, is going to break these lows. And that could happen today, right? And we could be missing on a sell here. But ultimately, our structure within this time frame is not looking too optimal. We did have a pullback here, actually. Hold on. Let me see. That is a beautiful topic, though. It's just this topic that's fucking, it's just not the best, guys. Really is not. I don't know, Backdoor. I don't know. I think she still trades. I think. I'm still around, baby. The creator of rage baiting, I know. Again, you guys can take UK 100 sells, but it's just not that high of a quality of trade, even though we did have that break during London, and that could just be confirming bias. But just the way the higher time frames are, guys, like, again, like we are still bullish, and we just don't have the best internal structure for me to play off of, I could say. And a lot of it has to do with this fucking wick here. I'm trying to see if this would be a good setup, though. Like, it actually kind of does look good. I can't lie to you. It's just that higher time frame, guys. It really is just the higher time frames. The 4 hour looks good. Ugh. The 4 hour does look good, guys. I'm thinking about it. I'm gonna call no trade day, broski. See any solid setup personally. See how tomorrow fire. Breakout, supply and demand, such a good way to trade. Yes, sir. NAS seems to go low. Yeah. How do I use Legacy on TradingView? Can you show me how? You actually can't. So Legacy is not, you're not able to trade Legacy on TradingView, but the dashboard that we have on DX Trades is honestly very similar. So. Cells actually do look pretty nice here, guys. I can't lie to you. Like, I could put some money on this trade and still be fine for the month. It's just... Where's Jocko? DX trade confused me. If you go to our YouTube channel, guys, you can you'll be able to see a bunch of videos on how to actually use DX trade. So you can go to legacy funded futures or funding, legacy funding on YouTube, and it'll break down everything. Jocko still hops in every now and then. Yeah, NAS is still going lower again. I gotta wait for some type of good structure. I low-key might take UK 100, guys. It honestly, like, breaking it down, it doesn't look like it looks worse than what it actually is. Like, we did end up seeing like a nice little internal break of structure within these lows. How to pull back here. Wait, hold on. How to pull back, but did we ever break these lows? That's where I'm iffy. That's where I'm iffy. I'm thinking about it too much, guys. I'm not going to take sells. Smoking about 20 together make you rethink smoking. Oh my gosh, yes. What's up, Benny Boss? What's up? What's up? So, again, guys, like UK 100, it's just a little bit too choppy for me. I do think we have more room to sell off than we do to buy up. But ultimately, like I don't know if you guys have heard this before, like, especially with like IFE traders, like a lot of IFE traders will be like, if I can't see that shit from 7 feet away, it's not like an actual IF, or it's not a fair value gap, whatever. In this case, if I'm thinking about it way too long, I'm not going to take the trade. Just because at that point, like, I don't want to say I'm looking for reasons to take it, and that could ultimately be wrong. And this is ultimately advice for you guys, is if that trade doesn't stand out to you, like DAX stood out to me, right? Other than the fact that we didn't get confirmation, which was to break these highs. That's why I did end up kind of throwing this trade out of the window as far as no entries. But UK 100, I do think we have room for sells, guys. Sorry. But we're just super choppy still. We had like a nice little breakout here, had to pull back, had to break out, had to pull back, had to break out, and ultimately we broke structure here. Had to pull back here, and we started to come down here, and then we started to see a lot of wicks. Wick here, did see price come up, wick here, saw price come up, and we're now seeing another wick. It could just be a liquidity trap for price to then go higher, and that's where I'm kind of just not really too sold over on the fact. So I don't think I'm going to take it. Again, like, we've done really good for the week. I mean, for the month, I'd say. So, like, I could take this and still be fine for the month as far as profits wise. But again, at the same time, if this trade did end up losing, if we did end up getting treated like liquidity, it's just, at that point, it's just not worth it. Just because, again, like, we're just now throwing money away just because, you know. But again, like, just based off how price is reacting, like, yes, I do think we have more room than not to sell off here. But I'd rather just let price do its thing. If it did sell off, great. I can just use this as a data point, and basically the data I'd get out of this trade is, even though price was super choppy, we still could have taken sells because we were anticipating it based off like the 4 hour and how the 4 hour top wicked. We could see a nice little run down. But another big thing is too, like, we could see a rundown on the 4 hour, see price react off this fair value gap, and then continue back up within its overall bullish structure. Because again, we are bullish within this leg still, right? So that's another no. Thoughts on BTC? Cartoony, you know, I don't trade BTC. I don't know. I hear a lot of like different things with BTC. Like, a lot of people like say, oh, it's gonna crash. A lot of people say it's not. I'm not entering this, guys. I'd just rather preserve capital and wait for tomorrow for something that looks a little bit more optimal, something of a little bit of a higher quality. As an investment, I think it's a good investment. I think it is. I've always had very high hopes for Bitcoin in the crypto field, but ultimately, there's a lot of different opinions too. A lot of people say like Bitcoin is going to just absolutely crash and take everyone's money. It's just going to be a big like liquidity grab. But yeah, guys, we'll see what happens again. When it comes to this, if we do end up seeing sells, like let's say we did end up entering, which again, guys, I'm not, it would be a break of these lows, stops at these highs here. And then we would look for price to shoot down for our 1 to 2. If it does end up hitting our 1 to 2, again, this is going to be some data that I can go back and get. Okay, as far as even though we were super choppy, we could have taken these sells. But also, obviously, if price comes down, you know, let's say just a little bit, doesn't hit our 101, because again, at 101, we would have moved to break even. So that's basically a win for me. If we hit 101, that's where I will go back to get data on the trade. But if we don't hit 101 and we just kind of stutter out and go higher, again, I may still get data on it, but overall, like, you know, there's a reason I'm not taking. Do you know Satoshi Nakamoto? Yeah, I know him personally. No, but like that's the thing. That's where there's like a lot of like different opinions as far as like who's like the actual real owner of BTC, this and that. See, Cartoony, like I've heard that, but then at the same time, I've also heard that there's like a lot of evidence showing that he's not. So I'm not in this trade, guys. Again, like I'm just going to put off to the side. It's just more of a forward testing thing just based off the quality. Again, it's just not worth it, guys. It's not worth it. But I'm still waiting on NASDAQ. We'll see what happens here. Hopefully we do see a nice little pullback. But if we just end up keep trending down, may just call it a no trade day, just because, again, at that point we could see price come down a little bit further and then maybe have that pullback later on into the night. But we'll see. NQUG right now it is start chopping around. I really would have liked to see that pullback early on. Has someone ever asked for a picture in public? Cartoony, not yet, but I have been recognized a couple times. Is there news? No real news. Nothing crazy. I'm coming to San Diego March 17th. If I see you, I'm going to give you a hug. That's crazy, Cartoony. I'm going to spray paint Niicksfx on the Hollywood sign for you. Dylan, they're going to come looking for me. They're going to be like, you had something to do with this. And I'm going to tell them, yeah, you know Dylan. Like, I'll send you his Discord. Yeah, Jay, it's just kind of choppy right now. It's just not really. Even like with these breaks here, guys, like it's just not looking optimal. Like we did have a nice little bearish push, and like the real reason I would have taken these sells is just based off this like bearish candle that did create this bearish leg like within this like internal structure here, and seeing this pullback and seeing this top wick and seeing price come back down. That is really what's like making me okay. I think that okay, sells could be good here, but ultimately I would have really preferred to see like a break of this low. But again, this is still a good break of that internal structure. So we'll see what happens. I'm 6'2". I'm going to supply and demand. Oh my gosh, Cartoony, you're not 6'2". There is no way. No way. Send a pic right now. Are you saying that because I'm Indian? Cartoony, I didn't even know you're Indian. I didn't even know. MNQs are tracing. Thanks for telling me. Oh shit, yeah, it is. Thanks for letting me know. Alright guys, we'll see if we can get a trade on MQ today. we're seeing a nice retracement. Again, if we just see a reaction off the 50%, it needs to be a pretty big reaction, meaning we need to see price come into 50%, have a very nasty top wick, and see our sellers take control or take back control right away. But if we just see very strong bullish candles, we'll obviously wait for the next reaction area to be reacted off of. And if we see that, then we'll take it. But ultimately, if we just see price pump, and just blow through these levels, I don't take it. We play the reaction. Does it, George? Trading if the Bonnie Blue industry. I don't know. Bonnie Blue is a whole different category, man. I wouldn't even know, man. Probably you. I hate this rainbow shit. Why does it always change? Alright guys, let's see if we see that reaction. Again, I need to see a very nice reaction. If it's just like a micro, like very small top wick, I'm probably not going to take it. Just because, again, like what I really do look for is those reaction candles. I need to see price react in a very strong manner to really push me over the edge and be like, okay, like we are reacting at that area. We can't expect sales from there. Oops. Still haven't hit that reaction candle. Very glad I didn't take UK 100, especially how the way it's reacting. If it does come above this area, this is where my stop would have been, because again, like we had that bearish expansion. This top wick was technically the pullback of that bearish expansion, so this would be my next structural high. If that gets taken, that would have told me, again, we would have gotten taken out right away on this trade. So very glad I didn't take this. Nah, cartoony. Nah. I do not. I never traded gold with him. Sat my play for the night on DAX. Fire. What did DAX do? Sells? Oh yeah, huh? Yeah, we had nice sells on DAX. Again, this is a nice little bearish leg. You could play those sells further down, but the reason I don't want to is just because, again, like we are still within this bullish leg, and this could be a reaction to then send price higher, and that's where I'd rather just kind of sit back, relax, and ultimately let price do its thing and tell us, okay, what can we expect tomorrow? So if price does end up coming lower, breaking these lows, okay, tomorrow we can potentially play the pullback of that overextended bearish leg. Obviously, if we do end up going higher from here, breaking these highs, we can play the pullback of that bullish leg, because I do think we will see a break of some type of structure, especially as we go into New York and stuff like that. So I'd rather just give it its time, let it play out, let it do its thing, and then we'll go from there. What trade should we do on DX? NASDAQ, MNQ. NAS is reacting. Oh shit. I haven't got that full pullback yet, so I do need to see that full pullback of that entire leg before I enter. Is ICC Mafia legit? I'd say that Sai is a good trader, but as far as like legitness, I wouldn't know. I'm not close to him. Yeah, the premium range. I need to see price at least come into equilibrium or deeper within the premium range and have a reaction off like either the 50% level or 71% level, or maybe even this order block here. As long as it's an overwhelming reaction, clearly showing that, you know, based off that candle pattern or whatever, that we are looking to come back lower, then yeah. I know, crew. Again, the fact of the matter is, like, NQ could just end up ripping off, but You know, I gotta follow my plan. But I'm very interested to, like, just like I said, I was gonna get data on UK 100 because I'm not trading DAX. Again, I'm gonna look for data here too. Like, we did end up breaking these lows, and we could see a pullback and then a deeper retracement. And I could look to see if this would have been an optimal trade to take after the fact. But ultimately, like, just based off my analysis right now, I just don't think it's that optimal. Like, yes, price can end up selling off and make it a new low, and that's what would make this a good trade. But the fact of the matter is, it may not sell off that low. It may just be having a deeper retracement within this bullish leg to then go higher. And that's where I really do just want to wait it out a little bit. So it was a nice little sweep here and a nice little push. Like, we could actually play this bullish leg higher here, but I'd rather just wait to see some type of reaction within this area for sales to continue, because I'm very bearish from a higher time frame standpoint. Very bearish. I do think we will come down and take these lows. This me? Cartoony, I don't doubt it. You definitely don't look 6'2" there. Alright guys, let's see if we can kind of come up, see a reaction now. Tired. Okay, now that looks like you. Casper, you in sells on DAX? I think sells definitely do have a really big chance. Like, I'd lean more towards sells than anything, but just based off higher time frame, especially seeing that we just ended up filling this gap and quite literally reacting off this order block here, that could be detrimental in the sense of we could just see price react and go higher from here and make that new high. Because again, from a daily standpoint, I do think price will end up coming to take these highs at some point. And obviously it doesn't have to, like, price is going to have its own objectives, but I do think that's just a lot more probable, just being that we are looking at the daily there. All right, see what happens, guys. Just enter long on DAX fire. Just missed it. Cartoony, is this your first stream back? Oh, excuse me. I'm tired. Why'd you just delete all of those cartoons? Still haven't hit that area. Or did we? Nah, we just missed. I need to see price react there. Just missed it. But it's actually a good sign. This is a good sign that price is slowing down. So if we do end up seeing price come up here and finally reacting off of it, and we see a nice little reaction, I will take this entry. Obviously, like, just because we are just hitting equilibrium and price, you know, could go deeper, we could be taking an initial loss, but I'll still take another trade depending on how we react going higher. But I do think this is a good sign, because again, like, we are just slowing down. We're not as strong within these bullish candles. Like, we had initially a good, nice little bullish push. We are seeing a lot of top wicks, seeing a lot of exhaustion. So as long as we do see that reaction off equilibrium, and then we see a nice little top wick, I do think we will see some good sells from there, unless price just sells off, which would suck. But again, like, I have to see that. I have to see that reaction, guys, off of a prime level. Someone deleted you? No way. You probably said some fuck shit and mods had to control you. Also, guys, if you guys are interested, all I said was I have a long stream. If you guys are interested in instant funding accounts, we have started issuing them. So you guys can, again, of course, hit me up in the DMs on Discord. You guys can go hit me up on Instagram, Niicksfx, and I'll send you over the information as far as how to get those instant accounts and everything along those lines. So if you guys are interested in that, just let me know. I just don't talk to him, Cartoony. I didn't say a fallout. Just don't talk to him. Looks like price is going to potentially sell off here. Again, that's fine. If bias shows, you know, like again, I did not enter, guys. But if bias does end up playing out into 1 or 2, then it just goes to show, like, obviously, like, I'm not just gonna go and say we could have entered here. Again, like we just missed that reaction point, and that reaction means everything to me. Excuse me. Like, I need to see that. But yeah, we are looking like we are seeing some sells here. Again, you guys could have entered at like a break of this low. Like we did technically have a sweep here of these highs. But again, like the reaction off these levels, it means so much to me. And finally, and seeing that confirmation. Let's see what's happening on UK 100. We are coming lower, or this is DAX. We are coming lower. Never had that full pullback though, or did we? No, same thing, just missed it. UK 100, we'd still be in if we took it, but I'm not in. Did you see Justin Worthing confession? Yeah, I did see that. It was kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Wow. We are going to sell off, guys. Again, I can't be mad. Truly, I can't be mad when my bias plays out. But ultimately, like, I have to follow my rules. It, you know, like, it's not only about myself and following my own rules and being strict to that, but it's also showing you guys what good trading is. And it's sometimes watching trades take off without you. That little bit of confirmation as far as seeing price come into equilibrium or that premium price means so much to me when it comes to my overall system that I will be disciplined enough to just sit on my hands and just let price do its thing, truly. And again, like, I want you guys to see that as an example of, again, like, if I'm able to just watch trades play out and be fine with it and not care, you guys should be able to as well. Truly. I'm not saying, like, you guys, you know, we need big Yahoo to nuke NASDAQ shits. Piss me off. I know. But we'll see what happens. If NAS ends up breaking these lows and just goes lower, I'm probably just going to call it a day for myself. But since we didn't tap that level, as we continue lower, technically we didn't ever facilitate a pullback. So that means our range is just overall expanding if we do end up seeing lower prices. And just because it looks like price hit equilibrium as I stretch the fib down, that does not mean equilibrium was technically hit within this range. Because again, if we mark it from the high to the low, we just missed it. And again, in some cases, we won't hit it. But in most cases, when we don't hit it, we do see price at some point come back to facilitate that pullback. So what would you do if it got drafted? I'd go out there and fight like a man, Cartoony. That's what I do. Like, technically, I can't get drafted because I tore my ACL and, like, I have flat feet. But, like, I even told, like, my girl, I told my friends, I was like, if there was ever a draft and, like, my friends got drafted, I would just, like, volunteer as tribute and I'd go and fucking fight. Like, I'm not going to just be a coward. Fuck no. I'd rather die fighting for my country than just to fucking sit at home and watch my friends die. Yes, crew, 100%. if it did. 100%. Just because, again, like I am still overall bearish, and the fact that we did miss it, it pushes me away from it. But if we do end up coming back up, this initial sell-off here could have just been the pullback of this bullish internal leg to then push price higher, and that's why I would end up still entering. It just depends on the reaction, though. Like, I'm not just going to get in at equilibrium because it hits equilibrium. I will only get in at equilibrium if it shows a reaction, and then I'd get in at the break of that candle low. That reaction's everything. Everything. It tells us so much. Cartoony, I still look at supply and demand zones because it's still a big factor. But I primarily use just like premium and discount and the general like price action to dictate my trades. Like if price is overextended, I'll wait for some type of internal structural shift. I'll target the discounted range of this bullish leg. And then if we had already facilitated the pullback and we're within discount, I'll just wait for some type of bullish structural shift to align with the overall swing bias. And then I'll shoot back up into these highs. It's the same way I traded before with supply and demand, but it's just not really looking at supply and demand all too much because, again, like what I came into contact with, and a lot of it just came through data, was like supply and demand is very much still there and will always be there. But there's a lot of times where price does not hit these, supply levels where, like, let's say we did end up having like a bullish leg here, and let's say our demand was all the way at this low. Sometimes based off the range, we will only see price come down to equilibrium, and then we'll see price go higher, and we will miss out on that entry because at the end of the day, price still came deep enough within discount to end up going higher. And that was like a big thing that I really did start to realize. Like, I was still making very good money with supply and demand, but there just wasn't as much opportunity. Yo, Nick, who runs your RG, bro? I know you weren't messaging me at 4 a.m. gang. I have a team in place. Like, I'm on my Instagram too, guys. Like, I obviously inverse Kenneth Ware. Yeah, potentially inverse here on NASDAQ. But I still obviously have access to my Instagram. Like, it's still my Instagram. But I do also have a team that runs it for certain reasons. But a lot of times it is me texting. As far as if you guys really want to get in contact with me, you can always DM me on Discord, guys. All you have to do is just click my name. You can DM me. I always answer my DMs. So I still have some investments in stocks, Cartoony, but not as much as I used to. He didn't know Henry. I knew that wasn't you. No way you questioned him to see who he knew, who he didn't. That's smart. But if you guys actually have an actual question for me, I'm again, you guys can always DM me on Instagram. Again, it's Niicksfx on Instagram. And I will most of the time respond unless when I'm sleeping or something along those lines. So UK 100 is end up going lower. So again, we will see based off how price continues to react. If this would have been a good trade to take, we would have almost gotten taken out at stop loss if we did enter. That's where my stop loss would have been, right above these highs, or this structural candle. Kind of pissed them off. Gotta apologize, dude. I'm surprised they didn't text me. Alright, but Nas is just running lower, guys. Might just be one of those nights, I can't lie. No trade day. But again, I can't complain with that. Again, we are closing in on the end of the month. So, but Main thing from today is ultimately just to get data. And obviously I didn't come into the market saying I'm not going to trade today, I'm going to get data. Obviously we had a couple setups that just didn't end up getting confirmation as far as DAX buys, DAX sells. It just didn't look too good. Like, I do think sells were more likely, more probable to play out, but just because something's more probable to play out doesn't mean I'm always going to enter. Again, it could have been a little bit better looking. And again, at the same time, not every trade is going to be a picture perfect trade. But at the end of the day, like, I'm very big quality over quantity, and I do think that we could wait a little bit and see, okay, what is UK 100? What is DAX going to do the rest of the night going into New York? And then when we come back tomorrow, we'll ultimately play that new leg or play that new structure accordingly. Okay, because again, like, even though UK 100 looks like it is going to continue to sell off, again, we are still reacting at these lows in a very horrible way. Like, we're just kind of wicking it. It just doesn't look good. It really doesn't. So as far as NASDAQ, again, we just missed that area of interest. Kind of horrible. NQ hasn't been giving us all too much. But again, like, that's where I told you guys, again, the biggest thing is getting data. I'll go back and I'll make some observations based off, like, could we have entered, depending on these, specific reasons. But ultimately, there was really no entries. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But again, we'll see if UK 100 sells off, guys. Again, instant accounts, guys. If you guys are really interested in instant accounts, it's the best way to just go into live trading. You can skip the evaluation. Feel free to DM me, Niicksfx on Instagram or within Discord. Same thing as far as, like, I do have a special promotion right now that we convinced Legacy to do. It's buy one, get one 30% off. I'm going to hop out of here, guys. It looks like a no trade. It's definitely a no trade day for DAX and UK 100. I may still look and monitor NASDAQ, but we are kind of coming lower at this point. And I think if we did get that push up, yes, there is still opportunity to take some sells here, but it's getting later into the night. It's more cartoony. But again, fire day. If you guys want the instant account, DM me. If you guys also want to be able to trade DAX and UK 100 with me, because again, like, DAX and UK 100 isn't on Legacy, you can always DM me. I can set you up with my broker, so you can actually start trading that with me. We've been killing it this month. We had our first loss in a while last night, but again, we will make it back this week without a doubt. So I'm out of here, guys. You guys have been amazing. Appreciate you guys for joining up. I'll see you guys same time tomorrow. Be back, because even though today was a no trade day, again, I'm super picky. I'm not super picky, but again, it's always quality over quantity for me. I don't want to call a bad trade just because I want to trade. No, that's a horrible mindset. And ultimately, I'm just trying to teach you guys that's not the mindset to have. I want you guys to be able to come to the markets, dictate whether it's a good day or bad day, and be able to sit on your hands on certain days, because there is going to be days like that, especially if you plan on continuing to trade long term. You have to have that mindset in order to be successful long term, truly. Yeah, see you guys at New York. I'll probably be asleep. It just depends. Maybe I'll hop in power hour. Who knows? But ultimately, again, guys, if you guys do trade UK 100 DAX with me, just look to get data today. Again, like, you could enter on sells, but ultimately, I'm just going to let it do its thing. I'm not going to rush into any trades here, and just see if price does end up playing out into that 101, which if it does, then again, I will, go back and get observations accordingly. But I'm out of here, guys. See you guys same time tomorrow, 11:55 p.m. PST. I'm out. Later, YouTube. Y'all are lit.